Now, in terms of other things happening here domestically with our president, he's lashing out at reporters once again. So anytime something doesn't go his way or something negative happens, he just gets in reporters' faces and he either makes a bad joke or makes himself look like a fool. So we have a clip here of Biden confronting a reporter over questions about his sagging approval ratings among Democrats. Let's go ahead and watch this together.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the polls. Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
So there you have that. And there is a little bit of discrepancy in what the president was talking about versus what that reporter was talking about. And I want to clear that up here right now for all of you. So President Biden, as you could see, became agitated and approached a reporter Tuesday after he was asked for his response to a recent poll that a lot of conservatives have been talking about and a lot of news outlets have been talking about, showing a majority of Democrats do not want him to seek re-election in 2024. Quote, Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again? The reporter asked at the congressional picnic at the White House. Biden walking adjacent, more like shuffling, trying to just figure out where the hell he's going. I don't know if you saw, but you had the Secret Service members around him trying to just chauffeur him around like he's a piece of cattle because he doesn't know where he's going. So the reporter made him pause in his tracks, and he told the reporter, as you saw, they want me to run. And he told him to read the polls. And the guy obviously does read the polls because he's quoting the polls to the president. Now, here's the problem here. Both the reporter and Biden reiterated their claims to each other, with the reporter again asserting that a majority of Democrats do not want Biden to campaign in 2024, which is true. And Biden refutes it with a statistic as well that basically comes from the same poll. And these polls were from the New York Times and the Siena College poll. In this particular situation, the reporter was in fact correct in his assessment that the majority, or around 2/3 of Democrats, do not want Biden to seek the presidency again in 2 years' time. The poll revealed that a staggering 64% of Democrat voters agree that someone else should take the mantle in 2024. And there's a new poll out that's also saying basically the same thing about Republicans with Donald Trump. And I can't think of the number off the top of my head, forgive me, but there is a good amount of Republicans that don't want to see Donald Trump run either. Now, as for Biden's statistic of 92%, that number does appear in the poll, so he's not just making it out of thin air, which is astonishing because it seems like this guy does make up a lot of stories and a lot of statistics, but it's not attributable to the question about whether he should or should not run in 2024. Instead, the statistic is referenced to the fact that 92% of Democrats would still vote for Biden in a hypothetical rematch against former President Donald Trump. Let that sink in. This guy has caused Democrats to pay more money at the grocery store, at the pump, technically during credit cards now, home mortgages, all sorts of money just being poured out by this person, and they're just willing to pay for it. This guy has done more harm to the black community and the underprivileged community in terms of white people as well, Asian people, anybody in the underprivileged areas than freaking Barack Obama, Donald Trump, a lot of presidents in recent past because of inflation and what he's doing at the gas pump. So they're going to still vote for him. Democrats are still going to vote for this guy, even though he sucks at his job. That's crazy. That number is outrageous. So the poll shows particular frustration among young voters, showing that 94% of Democrats under the age of 30 would prefer a different nominee. The poll also found that just 13% of Americans believe the country is on the right track. So 13%, I would love to know who they are. Because if you think this country is on the right track, hell, you are living under a rock. Our foreign policy sucks. Our immigration sucks. Our domestic policy sucks. Inflation's through the roof. Gas prices through the roof. I mean, everything is going the wrong direction. You have the indoctrination, CRT, gender identity taking place in school systems. I mean, do you need to keep going here? It's unbelievable what these Democrats are willing to vote for. And you know, maybe I shouldn't say it's unbelievable, because if you look in terms of history on the voting and the things that the Democrat Party have been for, like the Ku Klux Klan, slavery, not voting in the same percentages of Republicans in terms of civil rights, all that stuff. I guess it's not too astonishing that they're willing to keep somebody like that as president of the United States and just really run this country into the ground. Now, speaking of Joe Biden running things into the ground and just acting like a complete knucklehead and idiot, he literally lost his train of thought and kind of where he's at in Israel. And it looks like he's coming off Air Force One here. I mean, this guy, he just doesn't know what to do. He literally says, he's like, what do I do now? He's so confused at everything. And I want you all to see this. This is unbelievable. What do I do now? This is very reminiscent of his time when he was given that note card, if you recall. And I'll see if I can pull it up for all of you, the note card here of what to do. So if you recall, it says you in all caps consistently throughout this note card of what to do. So you enter the Roosevelt room, you say hi, you take your seat, you give brief. I mean, it tells him verbatim what to do other than breathe and basically blink. And this is who they want to vote for. That's why I want to keep bringing this up. I don't want us to forget what's going on, because these news cycles are ridiculous, where all this stuff just kind of blows off into the wind. It's just like another piece of wheat, and the grain just blows away and everybody forgets about it. And I want to make sure we don't forget about this over the next few months when we go to these midterm elections and spotting out all the wrongs that this guy has done. And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that he looked confused and just utterly bewildered coming off Air Force One there. He literally makes a gaffe while talking about the Holocaust. And he says, keep alive the honor of the Holocaust. He misspeaks here, but it is a terrible gaffe in terms of what you are talking about.
I will once more return to the hollow ground of Yad Vashem to honor 6 million Jewish lives were stolen in the genocide, and continue, which we must do every day, continue to bear witness. To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust, honor those we lost.
He's just all over the place in terms of fumbling. I don't know if you could tell he's slurring through his words. And some Democrats and progressive left want to say that, oh, it's a stuttering problem. That's what he's trying to do to compensate on it. No, that's him just slurring through his words. Folks, it's written down for him. And I've talked about this a lot. If you're an actor and you're reading from a teleprompter or a note card or something, and you find yourself fumbling or skipping through words or slurring or whatever it may be, losing your train of thought, one of the mechanisms that you're trained on is to slow your speech. Slow down a little bit, breathe, you're rushing through things, and you'll be able to compensate, and that way everything is ran smoothly. And you'll even see me do that on the show sometimes because my brain is going 1,000 miles an hour. And sometimes what I'll do is just slow everything down, bring it down a notch a little bit to correct myself. The president here is clearly going through some sort of cognitive decline. There was also a news story, and this isn't part of what we have today, but I do want to bring it out to all of you, or at least bring it up, is the old doctor for Barack Obama came out and was talking about a letter that Barack Obama gave him, Barack Obama's physician, in terms of the physician coming out and saying that clearly Joe Biden's going through some sort of dementia or some sort of problem mentally that has to do with his age level and the surgeries that he's had in the past. And so Barack Obama sent him a letter stating that he wasn't happy with him and that he was really bothered by his comments and everything that he said, and that he really wants him to reflect on what he's doing and saying. And it turns out the physician just ripped it up and basically didn't care about what Obama said. But even Barack Obama's own physician, somebody that probably saw Joe Biden as well, is saying, hey, this guy's in some serious cognitive decline. So Biden's latest flub only adds to the self-admitted reputation that he is prone to social facts and pause. It's so bad. In 2018, Biden told the press, I am a gaffe machine, but my God, what a wonderful thing compared to a guy who can't tell the truth, while comparing himself to former President Donald Trump. Yeah, it's coming from Joe Biden said that. I mean, the amount of gaffes that Joe Biden has, you can literally have just an endless loop of everything that Joe Biden says. Somebody commented on one of my compilation videos, which is where we get a lot of our subscribers from right now. There was a short that I posted and reacted to, and I came up with all these maybe top 10 or so Joe Biden gaffes. And somebody commented, oh, well, you left this one out. And I had to tell her, like, well, we only have 60 seconds. We only have 60 seconds to try and just make a top list here of everything that Joe Biden said. That's just a gaffe. And it's just on a weekly basis. This guy comes out with something new. So we definitely will have a part 2 for all of you coming out shortly here. So he's going there to promote peace, right? He is intended to promote peace, but he's basically just riding on Trump's coattails, because if you recall, Trump's the one that created peace in the Middle East. He's the one that freaking went there and changed the embassy, even though no other Democratic president would do so, and he moved it. But he's not going to get the credit, and Joe Biden's going to go over there and create peace while freaking saying that they're going to honor the Holocaust. What a knucklehead. He meant to say horror of the Holocaust, I believe, but I digress. We'll continue with this, that on Wednesday, Biden emphasized the United States' commitment to its alliance with Israel. We're going to deepen our connections in science and innovation and work to address global challenges through the new strategic high-level dialogue on technology. Basically, it's a bunch of fluff. They're not going to do anything. It's literally just something that presidents do. They go there, they meet with the allies, they have certain discussions, but nothing generally moves forward with it. It's basically just another thing on the agenda. And they even said as so much during the press conference the other day, the one that we did live. They basically said, yeah, this is just a routine thing that we do. But what they do is they try to fluff it up that, we're going to do all these things. We're talking about new strategic high-level dialogue on technology. High-level dialogue, you're just going to be talking about technology just as you always do with every president that goes there. Axios also reported that Biden and Israel's Lapid would sign the Jerusalem Declaration on Thursday, which will include a joint statement pledging never to allow Iran to acquire or create a nuclear weapon. Don't you just love that Joe Biden's willing to sign something like that after working with Barack Obama on the Iran nuclear deal that was considered one of the worst deals in American history? And you think Iran's going to that us pledging that Iran's never going to acquire, create a nuclear weapon? Do you really believe Joe Biden when he says that? Because I sure in hell don't, especially looking at what he's done in the past. Now, the gaffes just keep rolling for this guy, folks. There's another video here, and I don't know why he continually does this, but there's another video of President Joe Biden whispering in a girl's ear, and it's just gone viral, and you could tell the girl's completely freaked out. Biden has been widely criticized for inappropriately touching females and whispering into young girls' ears, even by those on the left. Now, look, I get it if you do something once or twice and they don't mention anything to you and you don't know that it's weird. Maybe you just lack, that, perception or self-reflection of yourself, and nobody's ever told you, hey, that's odd, that's weird, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's why you need a close circle around you that's going to tell you the truth. But, quote, I gotta read you this quote. Quote, Dad ran into Joe on a biking trail in Delaware and got a live sniffing video. Now, look, I don't know if he was sniffing her hair or not, but it's just weird. It's weird. His hair's flopping in the wind. He just doesn't look good. I'm just gonna play it for you. I'm gonna play it for you. Here we go. Do you see how the girl there kind of pulled away and she looked up at him like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you whispering in my ear like that? I'm right next to you. It is weird. And it's something that he has to know about because he's done this time and time again with little girls, with women in general, just whispering in their ear. I mean, why do you need to lean down to them? And he does this a lot, even when he's giving speeches. And he goes, hey, buddy, what's up? What's up, dude? I'm coming for you. Get your sweet ass over here. It's probably what he's saying. Just super weird, man. I don't, again, Jill Biden has to say, hey, man, you got to stop doing this is what people think of it. It's not a good look. Why do you keep acting like that? So could he be snipping the hair? Sure. I don't know. There's a lot of people who are just hounding him on Twitter for this. Somebody here, Derek Anderson, not sure why people let their kids around this dude. Democrats are willing to vote for him. Look, if Democrats are willing to vote for him, they're willing to throw their children at him too. Conservative Jesse Kelly on Monday captioned a different still of Biden with another child, charging, pro tip, this is not normal. Everyone knows it. This is how kiddies, touchers act. I've been around a lot of old people. Never once seen one act this way as well. Never once. I would like to echo that as well. I had grandparents. Everybody's seen grandparents. I've never seen somebody kind of lean in and whisper in somebody's ear and that close to their head before. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about all this in the comments, but here's that clip that they posted. And clearly you could tell that she's uncomfortable, right? She has her shoulders kind of perched up in the air, going why is this guy so close? It looks like she might be sitting on his lap. She's stiff. She doesn't look like she's relaxed there. And why would you be? It's a little awkward. It's a little weird. Whether you're guy or girl, it's just super, super creepy what this guy's doing. New York Magazine's posted in 2015 that Biden creepily cozying up to females, tagging him as the president of awkwardly whispering in women's ears and also the microphone. It outlined 8 incidences where this happened, which included with children as well. The Daily Wire has also reported on it and other outlets, but it's just, he needs to stop. It is not a good look, and it's really awkward for the president to be doing creepy things like that. But look, folks, this is the Democrat Party. Them doing this type of thing, acting creepy with children, because they've been trying to just gender affirm and teach gender identity in your children within the school system. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.